I didn't go to prison thinking I'd have to fight to survive. Honestly, I thought if I kept my head down, stayed quiet, did my time, I'd be fine. I wasn't tough. I wasn't trying to be. But there's this moment in there when you realize staying quiet doesn't make you invisible. Let me go back a bit. I was 22, first charge, first time ever being locked up. County jail, not some movie version of prison. Fluorescent lights, loud metal doors, guys pretending they're calmer than they are. At the time, I kept telling myself, this is temporary. Like if I repeated that enough, it would protect me. I wasn't part of anything. No gang, no crew. I just wanted to get through it and go home. The first week, I studied everything: who sits where, who eats with who talks loud and who doesn't have to. I learned fast that in there, identity isn't about who you are outside. It's about what people think you are inside. And if they don't know what you are, they test you. I won't lie, I tried to look neutral. Not scared, not confident, just flat. I kept my eyes level, didn't stare, didn't look down too long either. There's a balance to it. But I was scared. Not shaking scared, just this constant tightness in my chest, like my body was waiting for something bad to happen. About 2 weeks in, a guy from one of the bigger groups started talking to me more. Not in a friendly way, more like he was measuring me, asking where I was from, who I knew, little things that weren't really little. Looking back, I think that was the invitation. He said something like, "You roll with us, nobody bothers you." And he said it casually, like he was offering me a seat at a table. At the time, that sounded safer than being alone. I told myself it wasn't joining, it was just alignment, temporary protection. I wasn't pledging anything, I wasn't changing who I was. That's what I thought. The shift was subtle. I started sitting with them, standing near them in the yard. People stopped bumping into me by accident. The tension around me changed. And honestly, part of me felt relieved. That's the part I don't like admitting, because it worked. But protection isn't free in there. Nothing is. One afternoon in the day room, word started moving through the pod. You can feel it before you understand it. Conversations get shorter, guys stop laughing, certain people stand up at the same time. I asked one of them what was going on. He just said, "It's time." That's all. Apparently there was beef between our group and another one over something that happened in a different block. It didn't matter what. What mattered was numbers, presence, showing you don't back down. And since I had been sitting with them, I was included. I remember my stomach dropping, but I didn't say no. I could have walked away right then, maybe, but walking away would have said something too. And in that place, weakness spreads faster than rumors. So I stood up with them, not because I wanted to hurt anyone, not because I believed in whatever the fight was about, just because I didn't want to be the guy everyone decides is safe to test. At the time, it felt like survival. Looking back, I think that's when the choice was really made. When it started, it didn't look like a movie fight. No dramatic yelling, no speeches. It was just sudden movement. Chairs scraping, a tray hitting the floor, then bodies colliding in this messy, chaotic way that didn't feel heroic at all. It felt close, loud, confusing. Honestly, I don't even remember who swung first. I remember someone pushing me from behind, and I stumbled forward into another guy. He hit me, not hard at first, more like testing, and I hit back. That was it. I wish I could say I hesitated, that I froze, but I didn't. My body just reacted. Adrenaline doesn't ask about your morals. It was ugly. Grabbing shirts, slipping on spilled juice, people shouting, guards yelling for everyone to get down. At one point, I had this guy against a table. My fist connected with his face, and I felt it. Not just the impact, the decision. I could stop, or I could keep going. And I kept going. Not because I hated him, not because I wanted to prove I was strong, but because I knew people were watching. That's the part that changed me. I wasn't fighting him. I was fighting for how I'd be labeled after. When the guards finally flooded in and forced us to the ground, my heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. My knuckles were split. My lip was bleeding. I remember lying face down on that cold floor thinking, what did I just do? We all got dragged to separate holding cells. Standard procedure. Let things cool down. In that quiet, after the noise was gone, it hit differently. My hands were shaking then, not from fear, from the crash after adrenaline. I kept replaying the moment my fist landed, the way I didn't stop. Looking back, that's when something shifted inside me. Not pride, not regret exactly either, just this realization that I had crossed a line I used to judge other people for crossing. When we got back to the pod later that night, the energy around me had changed. Guys nodded at me differently. Not friendly, not warm, but respectful, like I had passed something. One of them clapped my shoulder and said, "You handled yourself." I nodded back. At the time, that approval felt stabilizing, like I had secured my place. No one was going to test me now. But that security came with a cost I didn't understand yet. Because once you show you can do that, people expect you to do it again. I wasn't the quiet first timer anymore. I was solid. I was down. I was someone who throws punches when it's time. And in there, reputations stick harder than charges. I started getting included in conversations I didn't want to be part of. Talk about who needed to be checked, who was out of line. I wasn't asked if I agreed. It was assumed. I had earned a role. I won't lie, part of me felt safer walking the tier. There's a strange comfort in not being prey, but I also felt something else, heavier, like I had traded fear for responsibility. Because now, if something happened and I didn't step up, it wouldn't just be weakness, it would be betrayal. And betrayal in jail is worse than being unknown. The craziest part is, from the outside, it probably looked small. Just another jail fight. Just another young guy learning the rules the hard way. But for me, it changed how I saw myself. Before that day, I could still tell myself, I'm not like them. I'm just stuck here. After that day, that sentence didn't fit as cleanly. I had chosen to participate, even if the choice felt forced, even if it felt like survival. Identity in jail isn't about who you were before. It's about the story people tell about you after moments like that. And I gave them a story. There was no going back to being invisible, no resetting to first time inmate. From then on, when tension built in the pod, I felt eyes glance toward me, not to see if I'd hide, to see if I'd move. And every time that happened, I had to decide all over again who I was going to be. I went in thinking I just had to survive physically. I didn't realize I'd end up fighting over my identity. And the fight that really changed me wasn't the one in the day room. It was the quiet one afterward, realizing I couldn't fully separate myself from what I'd done. That label followed me until the day I got out. And honestly, parts of it followed me home too.